July 18, 2025, 11:47 p.m. For years. It had been 4 years since the tears. For years since the video went viral. For years since Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez cried on the House floor and the world watched her break. She thought she'd moved past it. Rebuilt. Learned. She was wrong. Because on this night, sitting in her apartment in Queens, staring at her phone as notifications exploded, AOC realized something terrifying. History was repeating itself. And this time, it would be worse. July 18, 2025. Morning. The House floor. The chamber was tense. The Department of Defense Appropriations Act. $832 billion. Military funding. War machines. Contracts. And buried in it, like always, was money for Israel. $500 million for the Iron Dome missile defense system. AOC sat in her seat, preparing to vote against the entire bill. She always did. Defense spending. Military-industrial complex. She opposed it on principle. But then, something unexpected happened. Marjorie Taylor Greene stood up. MTG, the far-right Republican from Georgia. The woman who'd spread conspiracy theories. The woman progressives despised. And she proposed an amendment. My amendment, Greene declared, would strike $500 million in funding for nuclear-armed Israel's missile defense system. The chamber went silent. Marjorie Taylor Greene, proposing to defund Israel. It was surreal, bizarre, a political twilight zone. But for the squad, it was an opportunity. Across the chamber, Rashida Tlaib leaned forward. This was it. A chance to actually cut aid to Israel, even if it came from MTG. Ilhan Omar nodded. She'd take yes votes wherever she could get them. Summer Lee whispered to an aide. We're voting yes. The squad was united. Cut the funding. No matter who proposed it. Except, AOC stared at the amendment text on her screen. $500 million for Iron Dome. Defensive system. Intercepts rockets. She thought about 2021. The crying. The backlash. The year of rebuilding trust. She thought about her principles. Arms embargo. Cutting military aid. But she also thought about the optics. Voting with Marjorie Taylor Greene, the woman who'd called her a communist, who'd mocked her, who represented everything she opposed. Her phone buzzed. A text from her chief of staff. This is a trap. MTG knows progressives will vote yes. She's setting you up to look extreme. Vote no on the amendment. Vote no on the whole bill. You can have both. AOC's stomach twisted. The vote began. Electronic boards lit up. Rashida Tlaib, yes. Ilhan Omar, yes. Summer Lee, yes. Al Green, yes. Thomas Massey, Republican, yes. Marjorie Taylor Greene, yes. 6 yes votes. All the usual suspects. The far-left progressives and the far-right isolationists. And then came AOC's turn. Her finger hovered over the button. She thought, if I vote yes, I'm voting with MTG. The headlines will destroy me. But if I vote no, I'm protecting Iron Dome. The very thing I cried over in 2021. She pressed a no. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, no. The amendment failed. 422-6. Iron Dome funding stayed in the bill. And the internet lost its mind. Within seconds, Twitter erupted. AOC just voted to fund Israel's Iron Dome. She voted with Republicans. Squad is finished. AOC equals genocide supporter. But AOC wasn't done. The full defense bill came up for a vote. This time, she voted a no. Against the entire $832 billion package. She tried to explain on X. Marjorie Taylor Greene's amendment does nothing to cut off offensive aid to Israel nor end the flow of U.S. munitions being used in Gaza. Of course I voted against it. What it does do is cut off defensive Iron Dome capacities while allowing the actual bombs killing Palestinians to continue. I remain focused on cutting the flow of U.S. munitions that are being used to perpetuate the genocide in Gaza. She hit post and waited for understanding. It never came. July 19th, 2025. Saturday. The backlash begins. The Democratic Socialists of America released a statement. Her own party, the organization that had endorsed her in 2018, that had celebrated her victory, that had called her a hero, they turned on her. An arms embargo means keeping all arms out of the hands of a genocidal military, no exceptions. This is why we oppose Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's vote against an amendment that would have blocked $500 million in funding for the Israeli military's Iron Dome program. The statement continued. While the Congresswoman voted against the Defense Appropriations Bill itself, we were further deeply disappointed by her clarifying statement on her position on the Iron Dome. Along with other U.S.-funded interceptor systems, the Iron Dome has emboldened Israel to invade or bomb no less than 5 different countries in the past 2 years. The fact that Representative Ocasio-Cortez acknowledges that Israel is carrying out this genocide makes her support for military aid all the more disappointing and incongruous. AOC read the statement 3 times. Support for military aid? She'd voted against the bill. But no one cared about nuance. No one cared about strategy. They only saw AOC voted no on cutting Iron Dome. Twitter was ruthless. Progressive activist Aaron made. If you recognize that Israel is committing a genocide, why are you voting in favor of giving it $500 million for anything? Journalist Caitlin Johnstone. I didn't give the mass shooter guns and ammunition. I just bought him a bulletproof vest so nobody could stop the massacre. Cenk Uygur. I know why you voted for it. Because otherwise mainstream media would have obliterated you. But why do we owe them anything when they're in middle of a genocide? The comments flooded in. Thousands. Then tens of thousands. You're a fake progressive. You sold out again. 2021 all over again. We trusted you. Coward. AOC sat in her apartment, watching her mentions fill with hate. From the left. Her own people. Her phone rang. Rashida Tlaib. Hello. AOC answered. What the hell was that? Tlaib's voice was sharp. Not angry, but disappointed. Which was worse? The amendment was performative, AOC said. It didn't actually stop offensive weapons. It was a vote, Tlaib interrupted. A simple vote. Cut Iron Dome funding. Yes or no? We voted yes. You voted no. With Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care who proposed it. Tlaib's voice rose. If Hitler proposed ending the genocide in Gaza, I'd vote for it. This isn't about optics, Alexandria. It's about principle. Silence on the line. You did this in 2021, Tlaib said quietly. You cried and changed your vote. We forgave you. We moved on. But this is worse. Because you had 4 years to get stronger. And you're still making the same calculations. That's not fair, isn't it? Tlaib asked. Omar voted yes. Lee voted yes. I voted yes. We took the heat. We stood firm. And you? You're still worried about how CNN will cover you. The call ended. AOC sat in silence. And then her phone buzzed again. A news alert. AOC's Bronx office targeted by vandals. July 20th, 2025. Sunday night. The Bronx. Oliver Hidalgo Wolben, AOC's campaign manager, arrived at the office just after midnight. Red paint. Everywhere. Splashed across the windows. Dripping down the door. Pooled on the sidewalk. And in the center, a poster. Hand-painted. Bold letters. AOC funds genocide in Gaza. Oliver pulled out his phone and took photos. His hands were shaking. This wasn't protest. This was a threat. At the bottom of the poster, a signature, Boogie Down Liberation Front. He'd never heard of them. A quick Google search. Nothing. A fringe group. Activists. Angry. He called AOC. 2:14 a.m. They hit the office, he said. How bad? Bad. Red paint. Gaza message. And he paused. We've been getting calls. Death threats. Multiple. In the last 48 hours. AOC closed her eyes. How many? 7 that we've documented. Probably more we haven't seen yet. From who? Pro-Palestine activists. Some claiming to be former supporters. Others anonymous. AOC felt the room spin. It's 2021 again. It's worse than 2021, Oliver said. Because this time, your own base is turning on you. Republicans are mocking you. Progressives are calling you a sellout. You're getting attacked from every side. What do I do? Oliver was quiet for a moment. I don't know, but we need security. FBI, local police. This is escalating. The next morning, Oliver posted on X. Last night, our campaign office in the Bronx was vandalized, and we are in the process of cleaning it up. Our office is a hub in the community, and we want it to be a safe space for all of our neighbors. In the past few days, we also have received multiple threats on the Congresswoman's life, and we are treating this seriously with our security partners to make sure she, our staff, and volunteers are safe. The post went viral, but the reactions were split. Some sympathized. Violence is never okay. Protect AOC. But others were cold. Maybe if she stopped supporting genocide, people wouldn't be so angry. She's getting what she voted for. Can't fund war and expect peace. AOC read the comments and felt something break inside her. Not anger, not sadness, numbness. Because she realized, no matter what she did, she would never be enough. Vote yes on cutting Iron Dome. She's voting with Marjorie Taylor Greene, a conspiracy theorist. Vote no? She's supporting genocide. There was no right answer. Only different types of wrong. July 21st, 2025. Monday. Damage control. AOC's team went into crisis mode. Press releases. Clarifications. Statements. She posted again on X. Google is free. If you're saying I voted for military funding, you are lying. Receipts attached. Drag me for my positions all you want, but lying about them doesn't make you part of the left. She attached screenshots. Her voting record. Clear as day. Voted no on the defense bill. But the nuance didn't matter. Because the headlines had already been written. AOC votes against cutting aid to Israel. Squad fractures again over Iron Dome. AOC faces vandalism after controversial vote. The Boogie Down Liberation Front released their own statement. The Bronx is sick and tired of people like AOC and Richie Torres using us as a stepping stone for their own political careers. The statement accused her of performative progressivism and abandoning the people who elected her. AOC read it and laughed. A bitter, hollow laugh. Using them as a stepping stone. She'd fought for the Bronx for 6 years. Healthcare. Green New Deal. Workers' rights. But one vote. One complicated, nuanced vote. And she was a traitor. July 22nd to 25th, 2025. The Spiral. The story wouldn't die. Fox News ran segments. Even the far left hates AOC now. MSNBC tried to be balanced but struggled. AOC's complicated relationship with her progressive base. CNN brought on analysts. Is AOC moving to the center? And through it all, AOC stayed mostly silent. What could she say? She tried once more in an interview. I have long stated that I do not believe that adding to the death count of innocent victims to this war is constructive to its end. That is a simple and clear difference of opinion that has long been established. But even that was twisted. She's justifying Iron Dome funding. She's lost her way. She's become what she swore to destroy. The DSA wouldn't let it go. Statement after statement. We urge the representative to continue voting against the Iron Dome, whether it is part of a larger defense spending bill or as a standalone bill. They praised Tlaib, Omar, and Summer Lee for their principled stand. AOC wasn't even mentioned in the praise, just the criticism. 1 week after the vote, she sat with her partner, Riley, in their apartment. I don't know how much more of this I can take, she said quietly. Riley held her hand. You're doing your best. My best isn't good enough, she said. Not for them. Not for anyone. You voted against the defense bill. You've been consistent on opposing military aid. It doesn't matter. AOC's voice cracked. They don't care about consistency. They care about purity. And I'm not pure enough. She pulled up her phone, showed Riley the messages. Death threats. Vandalism photos. DSA statements. Twitter attacks. This is what I get for trying to be strategic, she said. For trying to navigate a complicated vote. You think you should have voted yes? Riley asked. With MTG? AOC was quiet for a long time. I don't know, she finally said. Maybe. At least then I'd have my base. Instead, I have no one. You have me, Riley said. That's not enough to win elections. August 2025. The Reckoning. A month after the vote, AOC did something she rarely did. She went silent. No Twitter. No statements. No interviews. Just work. Quiet, behind-the-scenes work. She introduced legislation to block offensive weapons to Israel. It went nowhere. She co-sponsored an arms embargo bill with Tlaib. It had zero Republican support and divided Democrats. She showed up to every squad meeting, took notes, listened, but something had changed. Tlaib was polite but distant. Omar was professional but cold. Summer Lee was newer, didn't know the history, but sensed the tension. The squad still existed. But the bond, the sisterhood, fractured, maybe permanently. One night, AOC's phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Hello, Congresswoman. This is Sarah. I voted for you in 2018, in 2020, in 2022, in 2024. AOC tensed. Okay, I'm calling to tell you I won't be voting for you in in 2026. AOC's heart sank. Can I ask why? Because you're not who I thought you were, Sarah said. Her voice wasn't angry, just sad. I thought you were different. Fearless. Uncompromising. But you're just like the rest of them. Playing politics. Calculating. Worried about optics. That's not fair. The Iron Dome vote proved it, Sarah interrupted. Tlaib voted yes. Omar voted yes. They stood firm. You folded. Again. Just like 2021. I voted against the entire defense bill. I don't care, Sarah said. Because when it mattered, when there was a clear choice to cut funding, you said no. And I can't support that. The line went dead. AOC sat in silence. And for the first time since 2021, she cried. Not on the House floor. Not on camera. Just alone. In her apartment. With no one watching. Because she finally understood what 2021 had taught her and what 2025 confirmed. In politics, you can't please everyone. And trying to do so means pleasing no one. September 2025. The reflection. 2 months after the vote, AOC did an interview with a small progressive podcast. The host asked the question everyone wanted answered. Do you regret the Iron Dome vote? AOC took a breath. I regret that it became the story, she said carefully. Because the real story is that I voted against $832 billion in military funding. I voted against weapons for Israel. I've been consistent on that. But you voted against cutting the Iron Dome specifically. I did, AOC said. Because I genuinely believe that cutting defensive systems while allowing offensive weapons to continue doesn't actually help Palestinians. It's performative. So you're saying Tlaib and Omar were being performative? I'm saying we have different strategies, AOC said. And that's okay. We can disagree on tactics while agreeing on goals. But your base doesn't see it that way. AOC paused. I know. Does that worry you? Another pause. Longer this time. Yes, she said honestly. It worries me that nuance is dead. That complexity is seen as weakness. That if you don't take the most extreme position, you're labeled a sellout. So you think your position was more nuanced? I think my position was strategic. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But I made a choice. And I have to live with it. Even if it costs you support? Even then. The interview ended. It didn't go viral. It didn't change minds. But for AOC, it was a turning point. Because she stopped trying to convince people she was right. And started accepting that she might lose them anyway. October 2025. The aftermath. 3 months after the vote, the dust began to settle. The vandalism was cleaned up. The death threats slowed. The news cycle moved on. But the damage remained. AOC's approval rating in her district, 64%, down from 69% before the vote. Polling for a potential primary challenger, 23%, up from 12%. The DSA never re-endorsed her. They didn't formally poll support. They just went quiet. At a town hall in Queens, a constituent stood up. Congresswoman, I'm Palestinian American. My family is in Gaza. Some of them are dead now, killed by American weapons. The room went silent. I need to know. The constituent continued, voice shaking. Do you support cutting all aid to Israel? Yes or no? AOC looked at her. Really looked at her. I support an arms embargo, AOC said. I've co-sponsored legislation to that effect. I vote against defense bills that include military aid to Israel. I've been consistent on this. But the Iron Dome vote was complicated, AOC said. And I understand if that's not good enough for you. I understand if you don't trust me anymore. But I'm still here. Still fighting. Still trying. The constituent sat down. Not satisfied. But heard. After the town hall, AOC walked to her car alone. Her security detail followed at a distance. She sat in the driver's seat and didn't start the engine. Just sat there. In silence. And thought about July 18th, 2025. The day history repeated itself. The day she learned that some mistakes echo forever. The day she realized that in trying to navigate between purity and pragmatism, she'd fallen into the gap between them. And the worst part? She still didn't know if she'd made the right choice. Because in politics, right and wrong aren't always clear. Sometimes you just choose. And hope. And live with the consequences. For years after crying on the House floor over Iron Dome, AOC had voted to protect it. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Especially not her. As she drove home that night, one thought kept repeating. They'll never let me forget 2021. And now, they'll never let me forget 2025. 2 Iron Dome votes. For years apart. Two different choices. Same result. Everyone angry. No one satisfied. And AOC, once again, alone in the middle. The rising star who'd promised to change everything. Now, just another politician trying to survive. The tears were gone, but the scars remained. And the internet? The internet never forgets. November 2025. The long shadow. For months after the vote, AOC tried to move forward. But every interview ended the same way. Congresswoman, about the Iron Dome vote. At a climate rally, a protester held a sign. AOC, climate justice but not Gaza justice? At a union event, someone yelled, "How much did AIPAC pay you?" She hadn't taken a cent from AIPAC. Never had. Never would. But facts didn't matter anymore. Her staff was exhausted. Oliver looked like he'd aged 5 years in 5 months. "We're losing donors. Volunteers. Base support," he said. "Maybe that's the price," AOC replied. "The price of what?" "Of trying to be strategic in a world that demands purity." December 2025. The unsent message. Late one night, AOC drafted a Twitter thread she would never post. Politics is impossible. You're told to be bold, but not too bold. Be principled, but strategic. Stand firm, but be flexible. I voted against the Iron Dome Amendment because voting with MTG felt like a trap. I voted against the entire defense bill because I oppose military funding. But nuance doesn't fit in a headline. So I'm labeled a sellout, a fraud, a genocide supporter, none of which are true. I've spent 4 years rebuilding trust after 2021, and one vote destroyed it all. We've entered an era where perfection is expected and compromise is betrayal. Where taking 95% of what your base wants makes you a traitor for the 5% you didn't deliver. Maybe being human isn't enough anymore. She read it 3 times, then deleted it, because vulnerability would be seen as weakness. January 2026. The price of politics. 6 months after the vote, a longtime supporter left her. Maria had been with her since 2018, but she couldn't defend the vote anymore. "My family is Palestinian," Maria said, crying. "How do I explain this to them? I was trying to cut offensive weapons, not defensive. They don't care. Every dollar we send is blood money." Maria hugged AOC and walked out. AOC sat alone for an hour, staring at her reflection, wondering when she'd stopped recognizing herself. February 2026. The squad breaks. 7 months after the vote, the squad held their regular meeting. Halfway through, Tlaib said what everyone was thinking. "We need to talk about trust." The room went silent. "July was 7 months ago," AOC said quietly. "And it still matters," Tlaib replied. 2021, you cried. 2025, you voted to protect Iron Dome. When does it stop? I voted against the bill. You voted against cutting funding. Omar and I put our necks on the line. We take the death threats. And you? You calculate. Omar spoke softly. "We need to know you'll stand with us. Not just when it's easy." AOC stood up. "I need air." Outside, sitting on a bench, she realized the squad was done. Not officially, but the trust? Broken. March 2026. Therapy. 8 months after the vote, AOC was back in therapy. "Every single day, I replay that vote," she admitted. "I wonder if I should have stood with Tlaib. If I should have ignored the optics. Would that have been better? Maybe I'd have my base. Maybe I'd sleep at night." "You're not sleeping?" "I wake up at 3 a.m. checking Twitter." The therapist leaned forward. "Do you still love this job?" AOC paused. "I love the work. Helping people. Making change. But I hate the impossible standards. The constant feeling that I'm one vote away from being destroyed again. So why stay? Because if I quit, they win. Or you're choosing your mental health." AOC didn't respond. Because she knew the therapist was right. But she wasn't ready to quit. April 2026. The turning point. 9 months after the vote, AOC stopped apologizing. At a town hall, someone asked, "Do you regret your Iron Dome vote?" "No," she said clearly. "I don't." The room gasped. "I voted strategically. I voted against an amendment I believed was performative. And I voted against the entire $832 billion defense bill. I stand by that. Even though it cost you support?" Even then, someone in the crowd started clapping. Then another. Then more. Because for the first time in 9 months, AOC sounded like herself again. Strong, clear, unapologetic. May 2026. The long road ahead. 10 months after the vote, AOC filed for re-election. Her primary challenger had emerged. More radical, more pure. But AOC was ready. She'd learned something from July 2025 that she hadn't learned in 2021. You can't please everyone, and trying to do so kills you. So she'd be herself. Messy, complex, strategic, flawed. On the night she filed, she posted, "Filing for re-election. Let's go." No explanation, no apologies. Just, let's go. The replies were mixed. Support, criticism, mockery, love. But AOC didn't read them. The internet's opinion didn't define her. Her work did. July 18th, 2025 had broken something in her, but it hadn't destroyed her. And that was the only victory that mattered.